Tom as a producer is the best partner you could possibly hope to have. I mean, he understands the Mission Impossible franchise inside and out, obviously, having worked on it for 20 years. But also as the star of the franchise is sort of there with you every minute of the day, protecting you and supporting you and pushing you to work outside of your comfort zone. He's a 24-hour-a-day movie-making machine. Ethan, at the beginning of this movie, is in a different place than he's ever been in any of the other films. He is in some way or another reluctant about his role in the IMF. Whether it's at the beginning of the film or the end, he doesn't stop. Even without the IMF, Ethan would not cease to be Ethan Hunt. The choice to present Ilsa in the way that we did came from the fact that I very much wanted whoever the woman in the movie was to stand on her own 2 feet. It was on that day that Tom and I were watching a bunch of auditions at the very last minute, and we saw a little 3-minute audition with Rebecca Ferguson, and we looked at each other and said, that's her. That's who we've been looking for. She was fabulous. We knew when she walked in the room she had the job.
How do you know we can trust her?
Desperate times, desperate measures.
The casting of Alec Baldwin was sort of a no-brainer to me. I feel like Alec has, over the years, become this incredibly reliable, dynamic actor in everything that I see him do. He's very self-critical and makes my job very, very easy.
I want you to choose your next words very carefully. Where is Hunt?
I have no way of contacting him.
I was in France early on in pre-production and went to the opera there and was suddenly struck by this beautiful building and thought, someone should shoot an action sequence in here. And that inspired the opera sequence. And then, of course, we had to decide where that was going to take place. I had a real interest in Vienna very early on. I was a huge fan of The Third Man and also felt Vienna was a city that really hadn't been exploited. And so we went to Vienna to see if the opera house there was at all suitable for what we wanted to do. And it was walking around the opera house, which was very different from the opera house that had inspired the sequence, that we realized that it was perfect. The rooftop section of the sequence, that's straight up Tom Cruise. I originally had Ilsa and Ethan finish that sequence and burst out the back door, get in a car and drive away. And Tom was the one who said, this is Mission Impossible. Anybody can go out a door. There's got to be another complication. There's got to make it harder for us to get out. Morocco first entered into our thinking because Morocco had a highway that we could use for the motorcycle chase. And once we determined that we were going there for that practical reason, it became very important to me that we find the beauty of that location. It was very important to me that each one of the international locations we went to was not lost behind all of the action. I really wanted to make this for an international audience, and I wanted to bring you to places that you might not otherwise be able to go to. And that's why we explore Vienna the way we do. It's why we explore London the way we do. And Morocco was no different. So we, in our scouts, we were looking at, in Casablanca, we looked in Rabat, we looked in Marrakesh, and there were things that I liked about all of them and decided we're going to use all three. The staircase, for example, the Rabat steps. As soon as I saw that location, I knew exactly what I wanted to do there. It took us very much out of our way to do it, but I knew that that was going to be a very important and almost signature moment within the car chase.
You have your seatbelt on? You asking me that now? Hang on!
And I kept looking for a location. I kept looking for a place that would lend itself to that sort of action. The problem was that nobody was building a taller building. And it's not like you could have, it didn't matter how spectacular a sequence was going to be if it was on the second tallest building in the world. So we knew buildings were out, we knew mountains were out, and we knew that altitude was somehow involved. And so when Jim Bissell, the production designer, came to me with a full-scale model of this airplane, I looked at it and said, what if you were on the outside of that plane?
If something went wrong, I can't get into the airplane till we land. I'm feeling the force of the wind hit me. I'm actually scared of this.
Open the door!
Yeah, okay.
Benji, open that door right now! Yeah, I'm trying. Come on.
This isn't going very well.
Well, I think the Mission Impossible films have resonated so strongly for so long because they represent a very specific sort of wish fulfillment. What I realized when I sat down to actually work on the franchise, when I analyzed all the movies put together, in each and every instance, Ethan Hunt is able to do superhuman things, but he is not superhuman. He's always aided by technology. In Mission 1, he is able to fly. In Ghost Protocol, he's able to climb on the side of a building. In each and every one of those, in Ghost Protocol, he's able to become invisible. But in each and every one of those things, there's a very specific technological advantage that allows him to do it, that makes it feel like it's almost real and that anyone could do it. And I think that's one of the things that makes the movies so fun. You don't have to be a superhero to be Ethan Hunt. No matter which Mission Impossible film you're watching, you're in for the ride of your life.